Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine on the Navy Sports Network. Navy wrestling team with a tremendous victory this past weekend, getting past Lehigh. First time in a while for the Mids to beat those Mountain Hawks, joined now by Tanner Skidgel. Tanner, from a team standpoint, for you and your wrestling teammates, beating Lehigh, a team that obviously has set a standard in EIWA competition and has been a very tough customer for you guys. What was it like to get that win, and a really big win for Coach Colat and his new regime on Saturday against the Mountain Hawks?
Yeah, thank you. It felt really good to beat Lehigh. They've been one of the primary teams in the Eastern Conference for a while, and I think that we have the capabilities to be that team in the Eastern Conference that runs the conference here in a couple of years. And, to be that team, we have to be able to beat teams like Lehigh and beat them in the way that we did this last weekend. So it felt really good. We haven't beaten them since I've been here, so it was an awesome feeling beating them up this weekend.
What's that room been like? You guys really gave Pitt a fit, even though your lineup was a little shorthanded in terms of experience going into that matchup that night. But you've come back with a terrific win against Clarion and now beating Lehigh. What's the momentum in that room like for you all as a team right now? Have to be feeling pretty good about yourselves as you bounce back from that Pitt match very nicely.
Yeah, just focusing on improving the small things. We have been working individually with our coaches recently, just watching film, realizing our little weaknesses that we've had and stuff, and just improving on those and trying to be better every week. So at the end of the year, come March, that'll be the best of our season. We'll be at our peak then.
A lot is expected, certainly from you individually. I mean, being a two-time EIWA champion, as a leader within that room, and certainly trying to understand what Coach Colat is asking from you guys as well. How have you balanced, having a leadership role as an upperclassman, a guy that certainly had some success on the mat, but also trying to help Coach Colat and his staff kind of implement the work habits that they want you guys to undertake?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely different having a new coaching staff come over, take over when you're a senior. It's different. We've been doing things a certain way, and then he brings in his way. But at the end of the day, I think his way is right. And the guys that he brought in and the mentality that he has is going to take our team to that next level. So it definitely helps that me and the other seniors have really bought into it, and just trying to set a culture where we buy in and we just show up every day and do what he tells us to do and try to get better.
How much does a win like Saturday night try to, progress that culture maybe even a little bit quicker here? Because let's face it, you mentioned, as a senior, you've had a certain way of doing things, but the fastest way for a new culture to kind of gain, a foothold is to have success doing things the new staff's way. Is that win against a team like Lehigh provide that extra credibility, as if you guys needed any more assurance that what Coach Colat was asking you to do would certainly benefit you guys as wrestlers on the mat?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely shows us we're on the right path. All of our guys have been stepping up, filling in the weights, doing a really good job. Everyone's looking crisp. I know Colat really is just a technician. He's wrestled at the highest levels in wrestling, and he just understands the sport at such a great level. So when he talks and when he shows moves, it's really easy for us all to pay attention and just try to be sponges and absorb what he's showing us. So yeah, definitely helps seeing it paying off on the mat.
Coaching changes are always difficult, but when you see a guy that, as you mentioned, comes in with his credibility, and I talked to him about it last week, and this is what I love about him. I mean, I talked about him. I mean, he's an amateur wrestler in the state of Pennsylvania, which is as good as anywhere in the country. He went undefeated in his high school career, and yet instead of wanting to talk about that, he was frustrated that he didn't do it, didn't go undefeated at the college level, even though his college record was still exemplary as well. Do you see that competitor every day in practice from your coach? Is he, is trying to get you all to understand the ability to compete, and you have to be elite every time you're out there on the mat?
For sure. Coach Colat's definitely a guy who's never content with where he is. He's always trying to improve and be better. You can just see that from what he was saying to you. But yeah, like, we beat Lehigh, and he's not just gonna be like, oh, like, good job. We're always trying to get to that next level, make that next step. like who's our next guy that we're going to be, like who we wrestle in this week. So we're always improving, always trying to be better, always wrestling with that competitive mentality, trying to be the best that we can be. So it definitely helps having Cole out at the helm, leading our team like that.
I know a lot of it is attention to detail in many respects, but as a wrestler that has had the success that you've had so far, a guy like that, how much does he help you here now in this senior campaign? Maybe even find just that little bit more detail that can maybe help you even, do even greater. And clearly, I mean, the competition is terrific in this conference. It's one of the best. You're beating good people, winning an EIWA championship. But, as a senior, how much does a guy like that now even help you gain that little extra edge that you might be looking for to try and get a three-peat here?
For sure. The like the amount that separates like a national champion from an All-American or an All-American from somebody who lost in the round of 12 is just such a small sliver. And it's those little edges that you get that make the big difference and pay off in March. So it definitely helps having Cole out in the room and having the other assistant coaches that we have being able to wrestle with Lloyd again, like I've always been able to wrestle with. And also now Mike Evans, who's also around my weight class. All of those guys are all great wrestling minds, and just being able to wrestle with them and them all give different input on, how I'm doing and what I need to improve and like steps I can take going forward. And I think that, all those coaches are definitely be incremental in my success this season and making it to the next level.
I was going to say your weight class is pretty tough. I mean, you saw that in the opener, obviously, with a guy like Jake Wentzel on the national level. As you try to, when you have a result like that, what's the thing that you're looking for? Obviously, with these extra matches, in some cases, it's a chance to get right back out on the mat that may not necessarily be there like in the past. But in a match like that, when something like that happens, what's the key for you to come back and obviously regain the focus you need to get back to what you're doing well to find the results you're looking for?
Yeah, for sure. The main thing is to just take away things you learn from a loss. Just watch the film, of course, think about where your head was at when you were wrestling, what you were thinking, what you were trying to do, what was not working, what was working in the match. Jake Wetzel was a great competitor. He's a senior, and he knows how to win matches. And he wrestled his perfect match against me. Hopefully I can make those adjustments, and when I see him in March, it'll be a different match, and I can take the match out of his hands a little bit. So it'll be.
The one thing I love talking about individual sports with guys like yourself, even though it's an individual sport within the team concept, when you see others doing well on the match, do you all get that sense of momentum? And did you feel that sense of momentum building up on Saturday night as your teammates really, capitalized on that momentum to get a big victory? Can you get a sense of that from watching your teammates when they're out there wrestling?
Oh, for sure. Cole even says that your job when you're out there wrestling is that you're getting the next guy up ready. If I'm the 165 pounder, I'm getting Dean Caravello ready at 174 from when he steps on the mat. So not only like does Dean see me wrestling good on the mat and he gets excited and wants to step out there and do the same thing, but the other team sees their guy quitting at the end of the match and getting gassed and getting tired, and he thinks, man, like these Navy guys have gas tanks and they really know what they're doing, and he might really mess up his mentality at the same time. So yeah, definitely in dual meets like that, you can really get the momentum going in a match when all the guys step up and do their job.
To have your brother there and share this experience with, what's that like?
Yeah, it's awesome. We've been wrestling since we were little kids, so it's great to be on a team with him. It's a lot of the reason why we both obviously came to the same college and wanted to wrestle together. So it's great to just have my brother there to roll around with and stuff.
I enjoyed telling the story a couple of weeks ago when you guys wrestled Pitt. This is more than just you and your brother. I mean, your dad was an athlete, obviously, and your grandfather, played football at Oklahoma and played in the now defunct Continental Football League, and had actually 6 interceptions one year in that league, playing for the Orlando Panthers. Growing up and being able to share the athletic experiences with people, like your father and obviously your grandfather, who were so accomplished, to be able to compete now on the Division I level. Obviously, it's a different sport, but it's the same thing. You're competing at an elite level. What's that like, being able to share that with your family through the years?
Yeah, it's awesome. Growing up, like, this was the goal. There was an expectation to, like, also school, like, it wasn't just schoolwork. It was also, I had to excel on the mat or excel in whatever sports I was doing along with my brother. It was an expectation that we were going to get a scholarship for athletics or academics. And when we graduated high school, so yeah, it really, it's really great to see it all paying off, and, being able to compete the Division I level. My dad, obviously, he was a college wrestler, so I can relate to him a lot, and he knows what I'm going through and stuff. So, it's cool to be able to talk to him about that and stuff, to have the athletes in the family.
To be able to look at this now, kind of the short tunnel vision view here, you've only got a couple of more months, left here at the academy in this journey. How much of this journey has surprised you, and how much have you seen yourself grow from the time you arrived to where you are right now, where, you've put yourself in a really elite class? You have a chance to be a 3-time EIWA champion if you accomplish your goals, and, really walk out of here as a decorated wrestler in a terrific program with a lot of rich history.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade this experience for anything. If, my high school self probably had no idea what he was getting into when he decided to commit to Navy. But, it's been a great experience. I've learned a lot. In wrestling, of course, I've came a long way, but also the military and the professional side of things, I definitely think I've grown a lot here. I had to learn some lessons and stuff, but, I think it's been a great experience. I've definitely grown a lot as a person, and, I want to trade it for anything.
Tanner, appreciate the time today. Best of luck to you and your teammates with what remains of this wrestling season, and thanks for the time.